Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Today I'm going to do a really quick tutorial in Cinema 4D on what's called the Vertigo effect. If you're not familiar with the Vertigo effect, it's a cinematic technique used by physically moving the camera and zooming simultaneously to create an effect similar to this. So in this case, the camera is physically moving in while zooming out. And the idea is that the main subject, which in film would typically be a person, the main subject appears to remain the same size while the background is changing because of the different focal length that's happening in the camera at that moment. If you're not familiar with the scene, of course it was used in Vertigo, of course, and Jaws, I think, is probably the most famous application. So I set up a really simple scene in Cinema 4D, just a model of a house, there's some wood paneling on the walls, and a model of a guy that was in Cinema 4D already. And all you have to do is go into the camera and set up a couple of really simple keyframes. And the end result is going to do this with the camera. You'll watch the camera is going to physically move forward, and you'll see the focal length. Right now, I'll show you, but the keyframe is set to 80. And now as the camera physically moves in, the focal length is changing now to, I think it's 36. So I'll go back to this first keyframe. You'll see where let me go into the camera. So basically, put the camera where I wanted it with the focal length of 80, keyframed the 80, keyframed the coordinates, moved to the end, physically moved the camera in, keyframed those, and also keyframed this to 36. So basically, the way that I did it was I started with the guy just nicely in frame. Let me go back. Started with the guy just framed up real nicely here. Set the keyframes for the 80 focal length and the coordinates. Came to the end. I physically moved the camera. So of course, after physically moving in the camera, it was zoomed in way too far. And then I essentially just scrolled out like this until I happened upon the focal length of 36. Keyframed that. And so the guy in the beginning, if you look at the guy and disregard the background, he basically stays stable the whole time. So when you play through, it creates that same effect as in Jaws. So hold on for just a second. I'm going to render this out, put that at the end, and that'll be it. Okay, I'm back with the completed render. Now, granted, I understand most people in their entire career or lives in Cinema 4D will have absolutely no use for this technique. Even once, but I thought it was pretty cool, so I wanted to share it. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and maybe pulled something out of it. Thank you. Have a good day.